In this section, we will understand the automatic rules that you can define at an organizational process level in Azure Boards. So rules are something that you can define the conditions. Based on these conditions, you can take an action which will be automatically applied for all the projects using your uh, process. And the rules are defined at the work item level, which means that you can have a different set of rules for a bug, or you have a different rules for a story and epic. So depending on that, you will be able to define the rules. One thing to note is the rules are defined at the org level or work item level, which means that you should avoid creating rules which are specific to a project need, right? And accordingly plan.
Hi guys, welcome back. My name is Chaitanya and you can call me Chai. I have more than a decade and a half of experience with software development as a developer, tech lead, architect, and various other roles around designing and delivering software products.
So let's go ahead and look at the rules and how do we define and understand more about organization level rules. So just a quick wrap up, in my some of my previous videos, we have created a new custom process called Agile and Scrum My process. We created a work item called quality assurance, created some couple of custom fields, and finally we created a custom states. So now I'm in the project which uses the Agile and Scrum My process. And I have a work item type called quality assurance, wherein we have defined the custom fields and also custom states here in progress, in planning, blocked. So now we will look into how we can create custom rules for this particular work item type. Now, whether the rules are applicable or useful is when a new work item is created, you may want it to be assigned to your lead or your main developer to ensure he or she is aware there's a new work item. So the scenario could be your business analyst or a product owner creates a work item that gets assigned to your scrum master or a tech lead, so that he or she then decides uh, uh, to be assigned to either developers or he plans to pick up in the next sprints. So this will ensure the gap or missing the requirements or the features, uh, as it will not be in the backlog and people may not be aware. So going back to the Agile and Scrum process and going into the quality assurance, and I'll go into the rules. So, as I said, the rules are at a work item level, not specific to a project. So, it wouldn't make sense to create uh, a rule which is specific to a project. Example, you will have multiple projects running the same process. You'll have different Scrum Masters for each. So it wouldn't make sense to uh, create a rule which says whenever a work item is created of this type is created, assign it to say Chaitanya, which means that irrespective of the project, it will always get assigned to me, which wouldn't make sense because I may not be part of all the projects. So avoid such rules and create rules which are very generic or um, you know uh, not very specific. But unless if you have a custom field, which we'll see now, it would make sense to write rules which are at a org level. So example, let me give assign to SM example, either assign it to tech lead. So what I'm going to do is whenever, or I'll say QA lead, right? So I'm saying QA lead. Now when a condition, so what is the condition is these are the various conditions. When a state is changed or when it goes to a particular state, we could various conditions what we have. So what I'm going to select is the value of a particular property, in this case affected module, or let me say release version. Now here I will say B to 2.4. So what I'm basically saying is, if whenever a condition occurs that a particular um, work item is created for a release version 2.4, this action would be triggered. So what I could do here is I can go ahead and set the value of assign to say myself. Now in this scenario, in generally what happens is so generally what happens is every release you will have the release manager who is specific to that release. So this rule would still make sense, or you will have a QA lead who is specific to every release. Or if you have the scenario, I'm basically saying if this QA item is created for release 2.4, then assign it to Chaitanya, or else it could be somewhere else, someone else. So once I do this, uh, now the rule is created. Now if I go back and check the rules, they have one rule. So now let me go back to the project and let me work item. There's a load testing for staging. The current release is, okay, it's already 2.4. So let me assign it to, so I'll save it for now. Yeah, save.